What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead on Dave. We are not live, but still, we are here to talk to you guys about a couple of things that are running through my mind. And if I'm a little bit distracted, it's because I keep looking at how gorgeous I look in this new, on this new screen. It's incredible. I don't know if the old screen hindered the visuals of the channel, but my God, it just looks better now, and I can't get over it. I would fuck this guy. My God. I'm just saying, look at him. Look at me. It's amazing. Anyway, past all of that, we're here because I got a couple of things I want to talk about real quick. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. Something broke yesterday while I was incapacitated because I had no TV. The monitor was down, needed a new one. But something did happen, and that, of course, is with Jerry the King Lawler. His suspension from WWE has been officially lifted. WrestlingInc.com, where I'm getting this report from, they reached out to WWE to get an official statement, and the WWE reciprocated in kind, and they said Jerry Lawler's legal matter has been resolved and his suspension has been lifted effective immediately. Now, a lot of people are going to look at this and start screaming hypocrisy. Like, why is Lawler getting off when Adam Rose didn't? And there was mitigating circumstances of the Adam Rose situation. That was something on top of something else, and there was issues. Not only that, Adam Rose's seemed to be an actual incident that his wife just decided not to pursue. This, by all accounts, with Jerry Lawler, on the other hand, seems to be an actual misunderstanding and almost a procedural situation of arresting two people because it's just kind of procedural. You don't know who's at fault, so you take both people in. That's kind of how it seemed to have played out. No charges have been filed. Everything's been dropped. Everything's good. Lawler's been released and reinstated. There's no charges against McBride following them both being charged with domestic assault on June 17th. Lawler had returned home from a wrestling event, and he told Action 5 News shortly after the arrest that McBride had returned home a little later intoxicated from a friend's house after watching Game 6 of the NBA Finals. This is his quote, Jerry Lawler's quote, "We got into a little bit of a shouting match and she wanted to leave. I was not going to let her leave in the car because she was just not in any condition to drive. She got more and more upset. She called 911 and scratched my face in the process. The police came and said that this was a domestic dispute and that they were going to take us both downtown. It's an unfortunate situation. Nobody was hit and nobody was hurt. It's just something that happened as a result of drinking too much." He later denied reports that he hit McBride in any way and did not push her against the stove, any of those things that McBride said while intoxicated, which she has later recanted. So this does seem to be an absolute misunderstanding as far as, well, not a misunderstanding. There was an argument, but there was no domestic assault done. It doesn't seem like there was any wrongdoing by, at the very least, Jerry Lawler. And what we have here is a unfortunate situation of a 66-year-old man fucking around with a 26-year-old. I mean, this is what you're going to get when she's a third your age almost, Jerry. This is what you're going to get, and this is why he's probably doing it. The shit's wild, man. Keeps him young. Keeps the dick hard. I get it. I understand the reasoning for it. But you got to be careful. You got to be careful because your ass will get locked up fucking with things like this. So be very careful in the future, Mr. Lawler. But we'll see what happens with his on-screen persona if he's going to... And maybe that's why David Otunga took his place and not Corey Graves. I think maybe WWE may have saw the writing on the wall and didn't replace him in a permanent capacity because they knew he was coming back. So there's a possibility of that. So it is what it is. This is not, I don't think this is a Hippocratic situation where you can shout against the WWE playing favorites. It does seem like it's an absolute different situation, which I think people need to take in consideration. You need to look at those things and go, okay, this situation is a little bit different than the other. Not all situations, especially with domestic violence, are created equal. And I think it's fair and just to look at each case, each situation by its details and judge it appropriately and not be like, well, he supposedly hit her but he also supposedly hit her and why aren't they? No, it's different situations. Critically think. That's all I ask. Okay. The other thing I want to talk about is a little bit more subjective and just a feeling that I'm getting. And I'll get you guys out of here on this. I don't want to dwell on this too much. Brock Lesnar is doing all the media rounds for his upcoming fight with Mark Hunt at UFC 200. Man, I wish his name was Mike Hunt. God, Mike Hunt. That would be just too good. But it's not. Mark Hunt and him will fight at UFC 200, I believe, on July 9th. We're a week away, and he's doing all the media rounds. And there are quotes and such from Stephanie McMahon. Everybody made a big stink about something that Stephanie McMahon said about WWE not promoting the fight or whatever. There's a sound bite that they used that is taken way out of context. If you go back and read the entire quote, it's really not what Stephanie was trying to convey. I think there was more to it, and it's a little unfortunate. And they tried to sabotage this thing or harpoon or ambush Brock Lesnar with that quote and question him about it, to which he responded in typical Brock Lesnar fashion. I don't care. I don't care about any of that stuff, which is fair. But I'm getting a little worried that I'm starting to see some of the things in Brock Lesnar's body language and his vernacular and things that he's saying that I did way back when he left the company the first time. I'm a little worried that he keeps making statements about WWE being a fake television program. And the most troubling for me was, I just want to get back in a cage and feel like a real athlete again. That worries me, because that is kind of why he left in the first place, because he wasn't feeling fulfilled as an athlete. And if those are the same sentiments that he's having again, he could easily leave once again. Now, granted, he's got 2 years left on the contract, but Brock, he doesn't give a shit. He will take his ball and go home if he simply doesn't want to perform. So I think there's a lot here that you can look at. Now, it's very simply explained, and I would accept this completely, that he's simply hyping up the fight. He is selling the fight, and he's trying to put a little bit of distance, maybe even by design, between his UFC persona and his WWE persona, which is completely fair. The one thing I didn't really agree with is he kind of took something, they used something that Heyman said in a very positive light. Heyman was complimenting Brock's ability to step from WWE to UFC and back. And Brock made kind of a flippant remark about it, where he was talking about how Heyman is my agent on a fake television show. He's not my agent in UFC, which is true. I mean, no one is going to tell you the truth. The cold-hearted, factual, nothing but the truth than Brock Lesnar. And it's going to come off very severe sometimes. But, it doesn't take away from the fact that what he said was 100% correct. I mean, it is. He's not his real agent. He's not his real advocate. And that's completely fine. I just worry that maybe there is something here a little bit more in the things that he's saying. More than likely not, but it's just something that I picked up on, that I do worry about a guy who has already shown the tendency to leave when he's not being fulfilled as a serious athlete. Because remember, that is what Brock Lesnar is. Brock Lesnar, for everything else that you could say about him, he's a once-in-a-lifetime athlete. He is special. Very special. So we'll see what happens down the line. I'm hoping everything's going to be okay. He is scheduled to be at the draft. He's scheduled to be at SummerSlam. It does seem like it's going to be all right, but we'll see after the Mark Hunt situation. The best thing for WWE, I just farted. I don't know if you heard that or not. The best thing for WWE might be Brock Lesnar getting knocked the fuck out. That might be the best thing for WWE. Brock Lesnar getting knocked the shit out. Humble him a little bit. Yeah, it might hurt his drawing power, but he's already said he doesn't care about that. It's not about that. It's about him. So I don't know. But honestly, to kind of just give him a little closure, if there is such a thing, maybe getting knocked out wouldn't be the best or the worst thing in the world. Because if he wins, and he wins convincingly, and he knocks out a guy like Mark Hunt, who just does not get knocked out, questions are going to start to arise, and you never know if it's going to lead to more fights and potentially a title fight, and then maybe just his full-out exit of WWE. You just don't know. So just keeping those things in mind, something that I was like, ding, 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 reading and listening to all of his comments, warning bells. But That's what I think. What do you guys think? Hit me up in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of that situation. And keep your eyes peeled on the channel for the rest of the day, because who knows what I'm going to do. I might go live play some video games. I might do a Dead on Dave live a little bit later on where I take your viewer questions and all that good stuff. You never effing know, because I'm reinvigorated and we're going to take this channel to the next level. Whoop, whoop. So join me on that journey. Thank you guys very much for joining me right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Like, subscribe, and share. Share this video and turn off your ad blockers, motherfuckers. And we'll see you a little bit later on. Like, subscribe, and share. And as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. Keep it copious, folks.